a 6-game homestand starting tomorrow.
And they have never lost 4 games in a
Not
row
yet.
in a season. And I think
yet.
that's something that, a lot of that is the pitching staff. A lot of that is A.J. Hinch. I thought back yesterday, actually, to the Jim Leland 2006 Cleveland series when they had won the first 2 games of the series. And then
it was a Jim Leland game.
Absolutely.
A bullpen game.
They had won the first 2 games of the series back in 06 against the Indians at the time. And it seemed like the Tigers that day had done everything they had wanted to do in the series. Cleveland wiped them off the map. They just showed up. And that was the big Jim Leland blow-up, which led to a World Series season.
Yeah.
And I thought
refresh my memory on what did he do?
He went nuts in the postgame show. He said, we're not putting up with that stuff here. It's garbage, and he just lost his mind.
I love that guy.
It was great, but it was really signified to his team that we don't give games away here.
Yeah.
This is not what we're doing. We're playing every day. And I thought yesterday, now A.J. Hinch is A.J. Hinch. He's not doing any blow-ups, but I thought yesterday was a perfect indication of how good of a manager A.J. Hinch is because, look, the Tigers have the biggest lead of any division leader in baseball, and it's by far.
Yeah.
Okay? It is by far. And they had a doubleheader against Pittsburgh. They got into Tampa late. It's been really hot in Tampa. They've been forced to have a delay in the 9th inning the other night. I mean, it's just been a disaster of a series in Tampa.
Yeah.
Just how easy it would have been for the Tigers to pack up yesterday and – you know what, put in a half-ass effort and just go on with the next series.
Yeah, take a day off today.
They've got a day off on Monday.
And
They've got
home.
a day off today. And you know what, move on. But that's not who this team is. That's not who these guys are. And they came to play yesterday and win the game. And I think that signifies who A.J. Hinch is as a manager. I think it's reflective of the kind of guys that the Tigers have in their dressing room, in their clubhouse, and it just tells me that this team is going to play every single day, and I just love it.
I love this team. I really am.
I love this team.
I am in love with them. They're easy to root for, and I put them on every single night. I walk in the house. The first thing I do is I'm walking in. I'm grabbing the remote, which I leave right there. I put it on. I walk in. I do my thing. I put my shorts on, change my shirt.
Yep.
And check on the family, how they doing. And Tigers are on in the background all the time. And then once I'm ready, sit down, watch the game, or I go to the damn game. And I'll be there for Sunday Night Baseball coming up against the Twins on Sunday, ESPN game. Hey, first time we've been there since the old 105-1 days.
Right.
We had a game back then.
On Sunday Night Baseball.
Yeah, on Sunday Night Baseball. So now we're right back on. Hey, Rick, nice job you got there.
Holding it down. Show starts in 45 minutes.
Listen to Ricky Burns on the bounce.
Hey, my wife is going to be at that game on Sunday, too.
All right.
Yeah, her and her bar studio is going to be out there.
Okay. All right.
It's just fantastic. And, to not have a 4-game losing streak all year and we're coming up to July, I think that's a pretty good indication of how consistent these players are, how consistent this manager is, and just how consistent the team is. I think it's very hard to do is to not lose 4 games in a row in the first half of the season. And I said this before, Maz, too, and I'm going to say it again. I'm not sure there's anything the Tigers can do from this point forward to the end of the season that will make me panic. Yeah. And I truly mean that. And if you go back, and I did this a couple last week, in fact, went back through the World Series seasons of 2012 in 2006, the Tigers have struggled for entire portions of those seasons.
Yeah, I remember.
In 2006, it was the second half where I believe they were 36-38. The Tigers played under 500 baseball.
Look at your 84 Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they were, after the 35-5 start, I think they were 69-53 or something like that.
Oh, really?
So,
I didn't know it was that good.
But maybe in the second half of the season.
They almost paid 500.
Exactly.
They almost
in the second half.
Yeah.
In the first half of 2012, the Tigers were 42-44. I mean, people panicked the baseball seasons are so long. It's really hard to be that consistent all year long. But if there's anybody that is, it's those Detroit Tigers, man.
I said it last week on the show. Don't expect 20 games over 500 for the entirety of the season. You're going to go into streaks. It's 162 long games. You play to the end of September, for crying out loud, before the playoffs even start. Actually, you're playing into October now before the playoffs start. So they're going to be fine. They've given themselves a great cushion. Supposedly the second half of the season, not supposedly, it is. It's a tougher part of the season as far as the teams that they're playing. They've played a lot of the patsies. You still got to beat your division, which they get a chance to this week with the Twins coming in the second half. You get the Athletics coming in. I want to call them Oakland. The A's will be here tomorrow. I'm excited to watch this series. I'm going tomorrow. They're a fun team to watch, the A's, and I hope the Tigers match up well with them and beat them. They're a young team. They like to run. The Tigers still need another bat. They need some arms. They're running out of arms. Casey Mize went out yesterday. I'm like, oh, not again. He was fine. It was just cramping in his legs. But Brady Wood, our guy, our sales guy, our guru here that gets us here at Buddy's, he's tired of putting his TV on and seeing Kiter Montero go 3 innings, then bring in Holton, then bring in this guy, then bring in that guy. They are missing, and it's because they went after – it's not because of this, but they signed Alex Cobb in the offseason, an often injured pitcher that Scott Harris thought would be an innings eater for him. He hasn't pitched. He's had a bad hip. Guess what? His other hip is bad now. Don't expect Alex Cobb back anytime soon. But Reese Olson, we got to get that guy back in the rotation. We lost Jackson Jobe. I'm very excited for the baseball trade deadline and what this team is going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. And you know who's heating up in St. Louis? I won't bring his name up.
Nolan
Arenado is starting to hit. And I know St. Louis is still playing decent baseball. And I remember Dan Dickerson yelled at me, "Don't tell me Arenado." Why not? Why not?
Here's the deal on that too, Maz. And I think teams are going to start – they're not going to wait until the deadline. I mean, there's just too much closeness for teams to wait. I mean, you really want to make your move now, I think. I heard one of the teams was it the Mets or the Phillies? Somebody's making a move within the next 7 days.
I bet. Because the Mets and Phillies are one game apart.
And you talk about those just waiting to the end of July to that's an entire month you've given up.
And not only that, those players that you want might be gone by then.
Exactly. I mean, so I think we'll see a lot of movement at the deadline. I think we're going to see a lot of movement earlier as well.
I'll take it.
Because of that, when you're looking at the end of the season and you have, let's say, just for argument's sake, okay, you've got Nolan Arenado. I can't even say his name. Or Arenado.
You got it right.
Yeah.
You got it right.
Nolan Arenado on the Tigers. Wouldn't you like an extra 30 games with him?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
You know, I mean, if you need a starting pitcher, if you're the Yankees, you need a starting pitcher. You want another 4 or 5 starts out of that guy? Mm-hmm. Yes, you do. So, but I think that's the biggest complaint with the Tigers right now. Look, they need a bat, they need a starter, they need a reliever.
But they're 20 games over 500.
But they are, but everybody knows what that means. And would you be disappointed if they didn't go 3 for 3 on that?
I would.
Let me know what you think in the chat.
Scott Harris, we'll leave it up to you, my friend.
Would you be disappointed if the Tigers don't go 3 for 3 and get that starting pitcher, that reliever, and that hitter? And how would you prioritize those? Because I would probably say big-time power bat, number 1, reliever, number 2, and then starting pitcher, number 3. Because, look, Jack Flaherty, are you concerned yet?
I don't want to say I'm concerned, but he's thrown in 2 duds the last 2 games, especially his last start. Now, look, the guy gives up home runs this year. I don't know what the heck it is about him, but he has given up at least 1 home run a game in almost every single start. And then he'll come back and strike out between 7 and 10 guys the following game. I'm not totally worried about him yet. He's healthy. I'm trusting in him. I think he'll shake it off, and I think he'll get us some big wins, especially down the stretch when we really need him. They're not trading him at the deadline. I can tell you this time. They're not trading him at the deadline.
No, I mean, because they believe they're a World Series contender this year.
Yep.
They believe they're a World Series contender this year. Last year they didn't. We talked about this, Maz, last year. And look, I'll never say that last year was a bad thing because it wasn't. And I don't want anybody to take my words and spin them to think that last year was a bad thing.
At one point we did think that, though.
Yes,
because we thought that they think they're better than they actually are.
But we were wrong.
We were.
I just hope last year's success doesn't make them believe that they can move forward with, let's say, 3 games out of every 5 where you're going to a bullpen day. You know, you've got.
I'll give you one bullpen game a week. I need starters.
Right, exactly. This bullpen game is something that has irked a lot of the fans because it feels like we see it more and more and more, and potentially, perhaps, a reason why the Tigers have struggled recently.
And you know who started all of that was the team they just beat yesterday. It's the Tampa Bay Rays. They've been living with the bullpen games before anyone else thought of them. Kevin Cash and the Rays have been doing this for a long time. They've been to 2 World Series. They have not won. So they're basically where the Tigers were between 2006 and 2014. But you know what? We're starting another run like that. We are starting another run. We don't have Verlander and Scherzer yet, but we got Verlander, which is Derek Skubal. I think you need another big arm. We were hoping it was Jackson Jobe. Gets Tommy John surgery. Hopefully he recovers 100% and we see him at some point next year or even the following year. They've got guys in the minors that are hitting the cover off the ball. Kevin McGonkel, but he is a double-A guy. So he's not ready yet. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how many prospects they're going to trade away. But everyone's been saying this.
Are there untouchables down there?
I don't think anyone's an untouchable, probably except Max Clark in his eyes and Scott Harris's eyes, because he went after this high school kid when he could have had Wyatt Langford, fresh off a Florida State World Series championship. Guy comes up, plays awesome for the Rangers. Sure, he's not peaking yet, but he's already got 2 years of major league stability. And you could have had him, but they go for the kid in Max Clark, who's playing great in the minors, single A. We'll see what that happens.
I'm going to say something real stupid for a lot of people right now.
Go ahead.
It's not the first thing I've ever said before in my life. I believe there's one untouchable on this team in the minors, and it's Kevin McGonigal. Yeah. Now, Rogelio, if you're out there, you can tell me
Come on, Raj.
that I am the dumbest person on the face of the earth. And I would understand that. But from what I see from this McGonigal kid, this guy is somebody that I want to put in bubble wrap and never let him out of my sight. This kid looks special to me.
Oh, he's hitting it.
Not saying that Max Clark isn't or anything like that, but McGonigal looks like he is, or McGonigal, it looks like he is somebody that could come up today and help this team.
I wouldn't mind it, man. I wouldn't mind it. And then Laranza, Thyron Laranza, who came up last year with Trey Sweeney in the Flaherty deal. He's another guy that's really doing well in the minors. So they've got pieces to move or pieces to maybe move up to the big time, to the big player here at Comerica Park. But one thing at a time, the team they have now is doing just fine, thank you.
No doubt. And we talked about this. Everybody's, every position, everybody is playing at a best-case scenario level. And we'll see if that continues. And I'm sure there's going to be ups and downs and peaks and valleys and any other analogy that you want to come up with. But this is going to be a fun summer around here. And I just encourage everybody not to react to the dips because this team is who they are. I mean, what have they played? 100 of their last 123 games?
Yeah.
This team's damn near 40 games over 500 in their last 123 games. Let me say that again. They're damn near 40 games over 500 in their last 123 games played. I think it's like 37 to be exact.
That's amazing.
But that is who they are. This This is not a team that it's just a small piece, a microcosm of who they are. This is a big picture look at what the Detroit Tigers are and who they are.
I think Scooble
Pretty
goes tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
I'd have to look.
I'm taking a look right now.
Have to look.
Yep, it's Scooble against Severino. All right, should be a good one.
And I think for the most part, the chat is on board with us. Pete posted a poll in our Woodward thread. Are you worried about the Tigers' recent struggles? 72% of the respondents say no.
Yep.
72%.
I was one of those votes.
Yeah, I was too. I said no. Dante151 says that home run by Meadows was nasty. Good to see him get off the schneid and put the ball out of the ballpark.
He's just breaking in, right?
That's right.
He's playing his third week playing.
If you think about how many games he has played, it is like he is just finishing a spring training.
Correct. I don't even know if he's done with spring training as far as that goes.
Probably wouldn't be, but
the way he is he's like an antelope in center field, the way he catches that baseball. Effortless. It's great to watch.
You love him, and
I do.
love that you love him.
I do.
Parker Meadows has only played 17 games this year. He's only got 58 plate appearances so far this season. That's not even a full spring training.
No.
So he's going to get going. He's going to be better. So all that and more. Guys, we're going to turn our attention to the NBA Finals last night.
Man, oh man.
That was the first basketball game I've watched, start to finish, that's a non-Pistons game, okay?
You watched it, huh?
The first non-Pistons game I've watched. Every single second of that game, even when from the 12 minutes to go in the first quarter to zeros on the clock in the fourth quarter, I was glued to that game. And I was very sad about it.
I turned it off as it entered the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Because I had enough. I didn't want to see it.
I was a sicko. I was just hoping
that there would be a miracle, but they needed their ace.
We'll talk about that.